Tactile.
1
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. It is Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, baby.
Yeah, dude. It's the first time I've been on stream this year.
Ayo. Yeah, I did. I guess I broke in the new year with the stream on Saturday.
By breaking Twitch chat.
Dude, that was so weird.
That was strange, and it was funny because I was watching and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this is connected to Twitch chat, and I hit refresh, and then I was like, what the hell? Like, and luckily, we were able to kind of get it figured out. But I know because of OBS and Discord, I was sitting there playing Deep Rock Galactic. I was like, I gotta text Eric. I gotta make sure.
Well,
I gotta make sure he knows that it's just like no one's talking.
I was like, all of a sudden, like, chat was pretty lively, and then all of a sudden there was nothing, and I was like, this died pretty quick. All right.
All right, well.
And then it was chat's down, and I'm like, I guess I'll just talk to myself for a little bit, and then, yeah.
We got it figured out, though. It was cool in Discord getting everything, like, quickly sorted. What's funny is, so I was on Reddit later that night and a lot of people were talking about how, like, they're now, granted, what do you do on Twitch? A big part of it's interacting with chat. And there were, like, very high, like, very successful streamers that were just dumbfounded and, like, didn't know how to act or respond. Because there are some people that are, like, super introverted, but when you kind of put the stage on them and you put them on stage and you put them in front of people, they can suddenly, like, snap into their kind of, like, alternative personality. And there are, like, some people just shut down.
Well, yeah, because it's like chat fills in the gaps, right? Like,
yeah,
that's what, like, if you're a game streamer, that's what you lean on to help provide, like, a little bit more entertainment, between games and whatnot. And so, like, I feel like if chat went down on a night like tonight, while it would suck that we couldn't, like, respond to the people in chat, which, thank you, Bueno Builds. Happy New Year's to you as well, and everyone else in chat. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if it, like, went down, because we could still do the show. But, like, when I was building, I was like, I like to interact with chat, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna sit here quietly and put this board together.
I was playing with one of our mods, and I was like, I am so glad this is not me. Like, I would be like, oh. Like, it would drive me insane. Show Squid here. You know what? Here's a leak. There's some boxes.
Quite a few boxes.
Yeah, 13. Honestly, smaller than I anticipated, though. Like, when I saw it, I was like, wait, they're that many. And then I kind of, once I got into one, I was like, okay, I see how they did it. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm super stoked about it. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. How was your New Year's?
It was good. And by good I mean I didn't stay up until midnight. I went to bed at like 10:30, and I went to sleep and just chilled.
I can't believe you ripped off the baka like that.
There you go. DD decline. Thank you. Yeah, you got to get ahead. If you're gonna get ahead, you got to copy the best, right?
True, dude. How dare you rip off the baka?
Hell yeah, dude. My New Year's was fun. I spent it with Elevision and my wife and some other good friends of the stream. I watched DD stream. He had a good stream on New Year's Eve. And I stayed up. I did the Central and the Pacific time zone New Year's, but it was like, Happy New Year's. All right, I'm going to bed. Bye.
Yeah. So. I think I had something to do. Well, yeah, I had something to do the second or the first. But yeah. Chill New Year's.
Yeah, I got to see you New Year's Day too.
Yeah. True.
So the few times that we do get to spend together, sadly it's because of trying to limit our bubbles, we can't hang out as much as we would love to, but it's been what a long strange trip it's been, right?
Yeah, right. It's been I'm glad that we're finally it feel someone that I work with was like, why are people always like I want to get done with 2020, like get into 2021, put 2020 behind us. She's like, it's not getting any better. Like things aren't better. And I'm like, it's more of the mental state of like putting that behind you, right? Having
Yeah.
that clean break into the new year and being able to be like, all right, now we can move forward with a new like mindset into the new
Yeah.
year and like be positive rather than just like the overwhelming negativity that was the
When
world.
you section your life into years, right? Like 2018 is the year that uh, I got married and I got into keyboards, and we moved into our or we I guess we moved in 2019, but I had started the job that I'm currently at, and then 2019 was the year Mechs on Deck started, and the year we moved into the place that we're in now, and then 2020 the dumpster fire of a year that happened. So things aren't magically better, but it's good to kind of go, okay, we've learned a lot. Let's move on into this year with less surprises. That's the one thing is
Yeah,
less surprises.
absolutely. Well, we've got a big mail day from Mr. Chewart that we'll get into here in a second. But first, I guess I'll start because I don't have as much of an exciting mail day. Um, and by that, I mean I have no mail. I did not get anything in the mail, but I do have a pretty fun board on my desk that I have been using for the last couple days, and I must say that I really do enjoy. Um, this is the board I built on Saturday. This is the Forever by Drift Mechanics. It's got Metaverse on it. And I must say, this board is freaking awesome. Like, super high quality. It feels great. It looks super good. Gasket mounted 65%. It's got a really cool mid piece. The way it attaches to the board is really cool. This is still part of that mid piece, the Drift Mechanics logo. Uh, and yeah, cool like little edge on the front that kind of tapers down, which is super nice.
I love that front edge. I got to see the other built one for about 2 minutes. I really like that front edge is nice. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's a really cool board. And it's running this Saturday over on the Drift Mechanics website. I think you can still probably hit exclamation point forever and that'll take you to the post about it so you can see more info. It's running this Saturday. It'll be Saturday morning. There's going to be, I think it's like 70 units. I don't remember. Let me double check.
70 or 80.
Yeah, 70 units. And yeah, definitely check it out. It's pretty cool looking board. And I like it. I think it's really, it's expensive, but it's worth the money in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's done the Austin. He's done 2 of them, so he's obviously proved that he can make a solid board. First venture into gaskets, so that'll be fun to see. I mean, I'm a huge good friend. On top of that, like he and I ran the Austin and Baca kind of at similar times, so we got to help each other kind of and discuss how we ran those. And going into my first kind of full on group buy, he was a huge help and big supporter, and just having me he's an accountant and I'm bad with numbers, so we got to talk a lot about all that stuff. So yeah, and like gnarly try for you, if it's half as good as the Austin, it'll be fantastic. But yeah, my mail day, well, I can't show all of it because we'd be here all night. But it'd be a lot of the same thing. But I'll start off with this is what's on my desk in honor of the Squid60 showing up. The Baca 60 on my desk. Also, it just is on my desk like probably more than any other board because why would I not? Before I get to the other one, I want to shout out Osiris for the Christmas gift. You can't see them. I'm not going to be able to show them. But these lights, I got these. He got me some soft boxes. So if I look less shiny, that's because of him. And it's a lot easier on my eyes right now, so that's great. Just makes I can have the room a little bit brighter, and I really enjoy it. So thank you,
You're welcome.
Mr. Osiris. And he got my wife an even better gift. It was like dope ass Taco Bell, like it's like a collegiate writing Taco Bell sweater. My wife and I are huge Taco Bell fans, and it's awesome. She wore it for like 3 days.
I realized after, I was like, man, it would have been perfect if she had that for New Year's, for Taco Bell New Year's with Keeb Noob.
Yep.
But
life gets busy, but Taco Bell is S tier. Like it always hits. It always hits. Sometimes it hits twice. Aloha, Ukulele Dad. If you guys don't follow Ukulele Dad, he's dope.
he is.
Very wholesome. So, all right. Well, let's get into the nitty gritty. I got close to 90 boards shipped to me today and 13 boxes. The DHL guy was crass, to say the least. He was so I get a call and they're like, hey, we're here. And I was like, oh, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm on this road. And I'm like, oh, you're actually like behind our complex. You're gonna have to like go around to get into it. And he goes, oh shit. It's like, are you in an apartment? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, don't fucking tell me. Don't fucking tell me you're on the second floor. And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, God damn it. Like, he's like, well, I was like, well, like I'm, I can try and help and blah, blah. And he was like, if you're going to tell me you weren't going to help me out, I was going to kick you in the nuts. I was like, I can't make this up. I can understand if this dude, because like when I got the Bacas, I remember I was sitting at FedEx and I had to go pick them up because what I'm sure happened is they were like, these are 4 huge boxes and they're super heavy and I don't want to carry them upstairs. So I went up and slapped a sticker on your door, and did that. So I had to go to FedEx and they were like, oh, I'm like sitting there and then I just hear, God, what's in these boxes? Bricks. And there's like 4 other people in there and they're all looking at me and I'm like, you wouldn't believe me. I told you what was being shipped.
Yeah, it might be better if you just actually believe that they're bricks.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's easier if I just say I'm buying cinder blocks. So this guy, he basically was like keyboard. Never mind. He quickly was like, nope, fuck this. So yeah, it's been a fun day of some QC, but it's here. I don't want to hit this because this is a good one. Ooh. There she is.
Oof.
Heavy. There's like, if you see markings on it, it's probably just like paper things, because I'll open one up and I'm like, oh fuck, there's like a bunch of things, and I'll like brush it and I'm like, oh, there's little bits of paper from like packaging and all that stuff. So I'll show the interior in a second because up until now it's kind of been a secret. This is the black one. It is black. Like same thing, same sides. The first thing I did when I opened these up is the Baca had issues with the blocker. It didn't have, I want to show off one thing real quick. We have bump on spots, boys and girls.
You got there.
We got bump on spots. There. So that was that was one. I mean, that's not something that ruined the board by any means, but there was some wind keyless blocker clearance issues on some of them. It felt weird. Sorry, blind. And so like on the alt keys, they might stick a little bit. Even on my Baca, you can kind of tell some. I mean, I don't hit the alt enough to like necessitate needing it, but I checked it immediately. It fit perfectly. And it's time to show off the secret internal that actually wasn't really a secret, because you could sort of pick it out in one of the renders, but no one ever said anything. I think maybe one person said like something was a little weird, and I was like, well, let me show you. I can't remember exactly who that was. I think it was the Rick.
Okay.
Haven't heard that name in a hot minute.
I
But
think he's been busy with family life.
yeah, living the dream, the dream family life. So small story time. For those wondering, here's the internal of the top and bottom. So yeet and a plate. So small story time. Obviously, I want to thank everyone that got in on this, because this was to honor my dog Squid, who passed away back in May. The board, I had thought about running a Baka again, but the board, I just hadn't really found the right time, and then COVID hit, and then but these vet bills, like really just wrecked our lives. And I was, I forgot. I think I was talking with a couple different people, and Jinly Bean was one of them. Was like, oh, that would be cool to like rename it and do it as that, as kind of like to honor him. And so I hit up Zap Cables, who made a little sign. And so in the inside of every single board, you get a picture of what Squid used to look like, what he looks like in all of his adorable pictures. So it is fantastic. He did such a good job on it. I'm really excited. This is something that we had talked about putting it on the outside, and I was like, oh, I don't want to like force people to have a picture of a dog on the outside of it, but there's just a little hidden. He liked hiding in cozy spots.
I was about to say, yeah. Well, considering his spot was underneath your bed in the little
underneath the
little
bed,
cubby.
or yeah, this little squid hole. We called it Fort Day Squid. It came out beautifully. I'm very, very happy, and I'm excited to get these in people's hands. Shout out to Abracadaniel, who's been helping me all afternoon, QCing, doing the first initial check, getting everything organized. They look really good. I've only had a couple. I've got one. my great friend who will be on tomorrow, Langlandia, said, "Give me the worst one."
So you got one picked out for him?
I've got one so far. I've got one picked out for him, ready to go. It had a rough blemish on the weight, but I mean, we were talking about this before. Do I have a gray on hand? This is the gray. This is actually the gray on hand, and I'll hold it next to the black. The gray is a very like cool gray. It's the same gray that the Cannon Keys gray is. I forgot what board it was, but I think it might have been a Savage 65, and I saw it in gray, and I hit him up immediately. I was like, you got to tell me what gray that is, because that is just clean. So, and with a lot of sets being cooler, muted is a cool 9009. Modern Dolce Light is that kind of cooler version of it. So it's been, I'm very, very pleased with how it came out.
Yeah, it looks great, man.
Excited to get these in.
Why do I gotta have this like bullshit ass Baka when I could have had a squid?
Could have had a squid. Maybe we can do a little tradey trade. But yours is so dope.
No, mine is. I wouldn't trade it.
Great.
Yeah, mine. I love my Baka.
So I'm very pleased with these. I've got a couple more boxes to unpack. Very, very happy, and I'm excited. It's not a key cult, right? It's not a key cult. It's not a TGR. It's not a Bauer. It's not an Iron. They're not meant to be. Are you going to sell the rough one? It's so full disclosure. I'm some of them are being to close friends who got them. Some of them are getting Cerakoted. So any of the B stocks, like I'm Cerakoting my personal one. So a couple of the B stocks that are getting Cerakoted. This is not something I apologize if this is upsetting to hear. Cerakoting is not something I'm offering to anybody outside of just like a handful of people, because that's just a load of QCs, like way more QCs. It's kind of the like you're gonna you get what you get and you don't throw a fit when it comes to the Cerakote one. But no, I don't plan on selling. Well, if I do sell B stock, they'll be sold as B stock. No, it's been fun. But like as I was saying, this is not a key cult. This is not a TGR, and I don't think it should be treated as such. I think they're solid boards, and like kind of like you say all the time, it's a board that when you pull out, you're like, damn, forget that I like this.
Yeah. It's not something that you're like, it doesn't blow your mind, but it's above what you expect.
Mm.
Right? It's not like you're not like, oh my God, but you're like, dude, this is good. You know?
It's solid. It's solid. So there are going to be extras, by the way. RP Morrison. So if you guys are curious, there will be extras. How many? When? Haven't really even thought about that yet. I have to get orders shipped out. Expect those in the next. I'd love to get US orders done by the 10th. Or not 10th, that would be way too soon. The 15th. But my the best chance I have at a working day is also my birthday. I don't know if I want to spend half my birthday working on stuff. So, but yeah, I'm excited to get those out. I'm excited to start seeing some pics of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited as well. I need to come over and play with one.
Hell yeah, dude!
Check it
Cut
out.
some. You can cut some bump ons.
Ayo.
Those bump ons come into these giant sheets. So don't don't QC on your birthday, Jaguar. I'm gonna personally QC yours on my birthday, and then I'm gonna write a very passive aggressive note. It was like, oh, I had to do this on my birthday.
Oh,
so,
man.
but get hype. That's all I'll say. Blind Assassin coming through. He did the fixes were exactly what I wanted them to be. I don't know when the soonest I would build one would be in like 3 weeks or 2 weeks from this Saturday, but we've got other boards, so it might be a minute.
Yeah.
Before a bok or a squid gets built from one of us on stream. I may have dropped birthday cake on the board. So I might throw one together with a hot swap just to kind of like but like I don't want to. I'm getting mine Cerakoted. So I kind of don't want to build it until that's done, so I can have that full experience of doing it. So, but yeah, there they are. I will take some pictures probably tomorrow and post them in the Squid60 chat page. But I've got to sort everything and then get everyone's personal order of who got PCBs and extra plates and all that stuff. So,
yeah. And if you're in chat and you didn't get a chance to get one and you would like an extra, just stay tuned to our Discord, all of our socials here, Instagram, the whole nine.
I'll be making sure that the info, and I'll be giving like a week or two before to like ensure I need to make sure that people have maybe a couple extra. It will probably be February before that buy goes, so that people might have that end of the month paycheck or something to rely on. So
yeah.
So, but Jaguar, the Instant 60 is what I use on mine. I know Brez uses one on his. That's not a like shill for cannon keys or anything like that. That's just a good hot swap PCB that I use. So
I am gonna throw the sponsors there. So
yeah. If you're buying an Instant 60 for the Squid60, I mean, you might as well, right?
Yeah, might as well just use the cannonkeys.com/Mechs on deck. Helps us out.
Helps us out. Just gives a little bump, little lube's not cheap. I got this is the other thing. I got this in the mail, the 206 grade 2.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah. So I'll be using that on the bumper this week, which I'm excited to build.
That's gonna be fun. Because
That'll be
you didn't get a chance to build the last one, did you?
I never built it. I typed on it for a while. I got to like use it for a little bit, but I haven't. Now, granted, it's a tray mount build, and I've built a tray mount board. But this is I'm really Zap was supportive of the Baka and the Squid, so I was happy that I was able to support him and getting one of his boards. So, and it's polycarb, so I'm okay with putting it up here. Fun note: I worked on the side bumpers. Hell yeah.
Yeah, the bumper actually has kind of like an interesting, like sentimental value to me for Mechs on Deck. Like just because that was like, there's two things obviously that we did with Zap that were like huge for our channel. The bumper, and then the building a cable is still like by far and away our most popular YouTube video. Like before we were even like streaming as much as we stream now. Like those two builds and those boards were, and that video was huge for our channel. So yeah, the bumper's it's a cool piece of Mechs on Deck history, and I'm glad you have one now.
Absolutely. I guess the other cool thing is I got 9s back from you, and I made this kind of blacked out now. So
Ooh.
I use this for a little bit. Sorry to I keep making you throw to me, but this is the SM keyboards I built. I took out the like purple blue accent piece. I can't join the Discord. All right, Unselfish 2968. What is your question? And is a Discord link messed up? Anyway, but yeah, it's yeah, I really like did you get a new top plate? He had sent me, I didn't even know this, but he had actually sent me the extra layers, because it's like literally one layer that was just blue, and he sent me a black one and said, in case you want to like go do an all black one, here you go, and then sent me like the top halves of screws to get that. So but yeah, Unselfish 2968, we can help you out. And then I got to try, which we'll talk about tonight, I got to try finally the Glorious Pandas.
Ooh, you did.
Yeah, I put them on, I put them on hot swap really quick and just rolled my fingers on them.
All right, he's looking at a pre-built 60% keyboard. He's found 2 keyboards within his budget. He can't decide which one. It's between the Royal Kludge RK61 and the An Pro 2. What are your thoughts there, Chewy?
I have no idea what the Royal Kludge RK61 is.
Sounds dope,
but I
though.
do know that it sounds like a cool board. But gut reaction and Pro 2, because I've never owned one personally, but I know people who's who I trust a lot with their keyboard. Like Quakeham's had one for a long time, and he's a good friend of the channel. And if he likes it, if you're going to go pre-build, I think that's one way you definitely would lean. What is the target price?
I mean, those are like the M Pro 2 is like twice the price of the Royal Kludge just by Googling. I think I would go for the An Pro 2. That's like kind of a staple in the like pre-built market.
Yeah. How much is the Amber? 130 Canadian. I mean, if you're also looking there, I mean, GMMK, they make decent boards.
Or even like the Ducky 1-2 Mini is pretty sweet. And super available. Like I don't know if I'd go for the Royal Kludge or whatever it was. Yeah, Royal Kludge, the RK61. I'd go for the An Pro over that one. If that's you're dead set on between those, I'd go for the An Pro.
Yeah, and I mean, if you just want to, dislike the fact that you're going to have even more options, look up the GMMK, the compact. It looks like it's got an aluminum base, so it's it's got a modular. It's pseudo modular. It's a hot swap, so if you want to throw other switches that are 3-pin, it's a shame that those PCBs are not 5-pin, because that would really open the door for a lot of people, in my opinion. So GMMK, if you're listening, 5-pin PCBs, please. Like,
Yeah, they open that up for the whatchamacallit, GMMK Pro, I think, is 5-pin. So hopefully moving forward they will bring that back down for their more entry level. I think that would be a good idea to kind of open it up to more options.
Mm-hmm. So, and used and honestly, I would just get a new one. If you can like get one on Amazon too that has a return policy. Like it might save you some cash, but like keyboards are dirty. Like you put your hands on them. Like even the nicest keyboards that we have, it's got, you know, our hands on it. It's got, you know, it's going to have hair. It's going to have dust, and it's probably better just to go new when you're buying pre-built.
Yeah, because it's not like a community member that's selling an amp or selling a keyboard, right? Like if you're buying a Savage 65 or like let's say a Baka from someone, right? Like the person's gonna be a lot more particular with the way that they treat their keyboard, hopefully, and they'll at least clean it up before they send you. They understand that it has a immense value compared to the retail, whereas like the person who's selling an Am Pro 2 is like they're losing money on it. They're just trying to get rid of it, you know?
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question if you have any more questions. So diving into the topic a little bit, I got the Glorious Pandas in. I was pleased. I think they sound really good. If I have one complaint, I think so. One of the first things I did, I threw 74 gram springs in there because come on. I don't know what weight they use normally. It rounds out a little bit. It's not as, you know, the 74 is not going to be as tactile. I think, I thought it's not bad by any means. It's still more intense than maybe like a lilac, a tactile lilac switch. I have to say that now because they made lilac linears a thing, but lilac tactiles is still going to be more tactile than that. But definitely on the spring swappability, I think it starts to lose its touch a little bit. But in terms of just out of the box, they felt pretty darn smooth too. I was really, really impressed with the overall just out of the box. I like the packaging. I like the bag as opposed to like having to like slide them out of a tray or something. You know, the other complaint, I guess, is the weird, like you have to buy these in packs of 36.
That's so strange. Like, and it was so annoying because like when they were on sale for Black Friday is when we purchased them for both of us, and I was trying to like get to the next level to get like the free shipping because like shipping was like $8, and I was like, oh well, if I just have to get like 5 packs, that's fine. We'll just split the other pack, and I get free shipping. Well, you know what? The 5 packs came out to 3 cents under 3 cents.
Oh,
and I'm like,
that's happened to me before.
I'm like, I'm not gonna pay another $25 to get, you know, I'm not paying like double that. So I was like, screw it, I'll just pay the $8 in shipping. So that's annoying. I wish you could just order by 10, but I understand why they do it. They want to do it in that box, which is nice, admittedly. And they do it because they want to have that presentation of the product, which is something we've talked about at length on this channel about how things are presented and how it would look good. Like if you go to like a store and say it's keyboards in 15 years and our products, you know, you can go to like Best Buy and buy switches, seeing the Glorious Pandas on a shelf in that nice little box is going to look a lot better than just like a tub of Gatoron blacks, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, and that's, you know, that'll bring me to my next. What's up, Basic? How are you doing? So yeah, I mean, I get why they chose 36, but it's just like, eh. But Novel Keys changed their switch thing. So now it's 70, 90, it's let's see, 70, 90, and 110, which does cover most. One thing I don't like, shout out to my boy Didi, who only needs like 45 switches, it kind of screws over the 40s community a little bit. So that's it's just something that I'm like, but that's hard to do because like 40s use so many variety of different numbers because it's like sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 36 or whatever. So I get that like it might just be a bit more difficult for them, but maybe you just buy 90 and then you have, two for two builds.
Absolutely. Also, hi Basic, how are you doing tonight? But yeah, that's I think it's interesting. I'm sure that they went to the drawing board and they were like, all right, what are the increments that are purchased the most on our website? Because obviously they were selling it by 10. And so obviously I guess 70, 90, and 110 was what they came up with. Makes sense, right? Covers their boards, covers the standard layouts that people would buy.
They were probably just going by what's the most we've gotten in increments of, and I'm sure 70 and 90 were the highest of the two, where it's like people just get 70, 90. Like I'm sure that was far and away more. I'm okay with it, but that's just because if I'm buying a board, those are the three that I would, and those are the three increments that I'm going to use. So
yeah, plus it's one of those deals where it saves them a ton of time because they can already have them pre-packaged. They don't have to like put them in a bag, weigh them, or like put a bag on the scale, pour the switches until it gets to the designated weight that it's supposed to be, and then pack it up. They can just say, okay, it's a 70. Yeah, here's bag of 70. And then boom, you're good.
Boom. So as well as, going into novel keys, we've got the new Polia switches, which I feel in first impression, feel like you're a year late, Kale. like, so I forgot where was the description. I remember, or maybe it was in I think it was like in the newsletter. They talked about, it's Kale's response to the Holy Panda, which I'm like, I mean, you've kind of had plenty of time. Maybe it took them. Haven't gotten a chance to try them. I'd like to try them because they're pretty inexpensive. I mean, that's not the worst. I'm trying to do some quick maths here. So it's I did that completely wrong, but
60 cents a switch.
60 cents a switch, which for the fact that you don't need to buy two switches to make this a tactile switch, you don't need to make this something like, it's kind of like the T1s were kind of poised to be in that slot of, help, the all-in-one switch, that it might be a little bit more expensive, but overall it's going to be a lot cheaper. So I mean, for $42 for 70 switches, I mean, that's not the worst.
Yeah. So chat's saying that it's worth noting that they are not a Holy Panda replacement. They're a Halo.
That's replacement. That's right.
So it's basically Halo, but it's a replacement for a Halo, which is nice. I think we need that because people will continue to make the Holy Panda. Obviously, they have the Yak Pandas are back on the website, on the Novel Keys website as of a couple months ago, and so it's nice to see that they've done that. So I'm excited to see what happens with these. I'm excited to try them. I know Upas is a big fan of the different various Halo switches. I think he likes more of the box variants, but the Heikos.
Dude, those box Royal Heikos, the box Royal Heiko Trues. Oh, I love those switches. I love everything they bust. I'm sure they busted some of my caps,
Yeah,
but
Heiko Violet's best.
Heiko Violet's, there it is. Upas, what's up, man? So if you have Upas, do you have instant 60s in stock? That's the real question for tonight. But this week, there you go, guys. So, keep an eye out if you are someone that got a squid and you want to potentially have a hot swap build in it. So, but yeah, it's, I'm glad that so I guess this changes my thought process of, oh, it's not a holy panda. So I'm, ignore that I said that because I fucked that one up. But, but the Halo switches are great. The Halo clears are a solid switch. And a lot of times when I get them in to just extract what I need from it, a lot of times I'm like, damn, I've been, I said a while ago, I was like, I kind of want to just get a Halo clear build going.
Yeah.
Just a Halo clear build. But part of me is also kind of like, yeah, but then I don't want to like get a board and then caps and then, a PCB and all that other stuff just for these switches. So, but this is something that I could see myself, like the bumper, I'm using blueberries because I like the switches, but it's not my favorite. It's not my top 4, but I'm like, hey, I like them. I'm going to use them.
Well, also blueberry bumper sounds pretty cool.
I didn't even think about that blueberry bumper. And I'm putting peaches and cream on it, so it's just my fruity board.
Dude, you got yourself a nice pie going there.
I need a pie or a parfait.
Dude, yes.
My blueberry bumper peaches and cream parfait.
We need someone to make a granola add-on kit.
Ooh. Rensuya, where you at, man? That sounds good, Gib. Absolutely.
But no, it is nice to see something. I feel like the Halo true and clear switches are kind of slept on, right? Like they were right now in the community, they're kind of seen as just like donors for the holy pandas. When in actuality, they're still super solid switches. I don't think they fall into the same realm of obscurity as the actual panda, linear panda, is, where it like no one liked it, like it was a bad switch. Like the Halo true and clears are still pretty freaking good switches. So hopefully people pick these up and they enjoy them. Like I said, we haven't tried them yet. I'm looking forward to trying them. I'm sure they'll be good. Like Kale's been recently releasing good stuff over the last couple of years at this point now.
Yeah, they're pumping out heat. Just restocked for the Instant 60. All right, guys. Boom. There it is. So if you got a Squid60, Instant 60 works. I use mine on my Baka. It works fantastically. Like Instant 60, go grab one. I've got one. To me, it's the best hot swap 60% PCB, which I know there's not a lot of people swinging for that spot, but you also get the added bonus of you get some lights under it, and you can turn them off just as easy. That's in VIA, so like super easy, super easy PCB. I'm excited for having that in a Squid where I can kind of just like pop them in and out, because this year, keyboard goals, I want to try more switches. I felt like in 2019, I tried, 2018, 2019, getting into this hobby, I tried as many switches as I could, and I loved a lot of them, and I really found. And then 2020, and kind of towards the tail end, once Zycos were made, I kind of stopped trying, and I stopped wanting to try different switches. And my goal this year is to try more switches. I'm not going to go Theremin Goat levels and try 800 different types, but I want to try the Moyu Blacks. I want to try the Polias. I want to make a Halo clear build. I want to I need to get my hands on some of these T1 tactiles that I haven't really, and just try a lot more. So Holy Inks, I have tried that. I was not a fan.
Is that just like
it's just Halo inside of an ink housing.
Interesting.
Now, granted, I tried that around the time that I made Zycos, and it's not as tactile. And I was going for how freaking tactile can I make a switch. By the way, Glorious Pandas, great substitute for a Yacht and Halo stem. Tried it on a Zyco. It's a little different sounding. It's a little deeper, so you might even like it more than a traditional Yacht top Halo stem. But it works. It's just as tactile. And it has a very solid sound. So if you want to save a little bit of money and you're making Zycos, that's instead of having to buy 3 switches, it's only 2.
Yeah. and you can probably get them a little bit quicker too, because you
Yeah.
can buy all those other parts. Um, Now, if color is important to you, I will say the Glorious Pandas have probably the most disgusting color stem that I've seen
Oh
in a
man,
Switch.
it's gross. It's
It is like
rough.
a yellowish orange, like it looks like baby poop.
Here, let's switch to me real quick, and I'll pop them. Whoop. So that bright orange is going to be your glorious, as the middle is going to be a Halo True Stem, which it makes the Halo True Stem look oranger than it is. Orangier. That's a word, right?
It's
But
funny because it's like laser next to like hyperfuse, right? Like
mhm.
laser's like super aggressive, like it's really bright colors, and then hyperfuse is like a little bit muted version of it, like or like muted with the similar color palette. Obviously doesn't have the pink, but the purple and everything. So yeah.
It's yeah, it's not as you said. If you're someone that really cares about your board looks without caps on it, um, maybe you look elsewhere. Maybe go for
Yeah.
the Halo clears. So, um, but other than that, I mean, we're starting to see more switches pop out. I like the idea of different tactiles. You were kind of preaching all last year about let's go back to the Zeal V1 and maybe take a peek around there, because maybe we had just everyone wanted to be as tactile as possible. Let's dial it back now. Let's see what we can do with a lighter tactility without being a dirty linear.
Yeah, because there was like admittedly the difference between a Zeal V1 and like the Holy Panda, massive in terms of bump size, right? And then that got expanded even further with the massive bump that is the blueberry, right? And then everyone was like, okay, let's tone it back a little bit and let's stay around the Holy Panda range. Um, and I think that there's a lot of room in between those two switches that maybe hasn't been dealt with as much. Like you see the T1 and the Lilac tactile switches that do kind of sit in that in between space. But I feel like if we kind of pushed a little bit further close to the Zeal V1 range, I think some people would be super happy, and some people who are like diehard linear fans might be converted to a more tactile switch if it is not quite as aggressive as something like a Holy Panda, a Moyu Black, or the Glorious Pandas.
Yeah. One thing that I wish they would do, and I think if you could move the bump up on the Zeal V1, so there's no pre-travel, because pre-travel is something that I haven't been a fan of since trying the Zeal V2. I think the Zeal V2 still, to me, out of the box, is one of the best feeling switches, where it's just like, oh, it's smooth, bumps right at the top. There's a little pre-travel, which I was never a big fan of, especially if you're someone who rests your hands on your keyboard, like, with gaming, and there's that wiggle. And I was never the biggest fan of that awkward little like micro. It just felt like your keycaps were like a little bit too loose or something like that. So if you could move that bump up and then, of course, keep it okay, then honestly, if we don't like saying superlative things about switches, but honestly, that could be the situation where you're like, this could be one of the best gaming switches,
Yeah.
because now you're sitting there going, all right, well, I can see myself gaming on this, because tactiles are great to game on, in my opinion. Um, you could be like Osiris and get the speed silvers, where if you cough, you accidentally ult. But
I should bring that board back out one day and try to see if I can actually use it, because it is. I don't think I'd be able to at this point. I think those switches are like 45 grams. Yeah, it would be rough. It would be pretty bad. But no, I get what you're saying about like the bump not starting. I've always thought of that as like it's like you're not to the switch yet. Like you have that little bit of time where you're like, okay, it hasn't started yet, and then oh, okay, now there's the bump. Now the switch is actually there. Um, but yeah, Upas gave up on the speed silvers, dude. They are like so light. They are so dang light.
I still think, God, what was it? Kill bronze switches were like some of the worst switches. It was the box white equivalent, but they called them like speed switches when they just weren't box. They were just click bar switches that weren't box switches. Um, and I don't know if you remember, they were so wobbly.
Yeah, they
There, you
were.
could fit a freaking credit card on the sides of each of those stems. I mean, it was rough because this happened during Boxgate, and it was like, oh, everyone went out and got these click bar switches that are these, and I remember being able to put my tab key and push it like all the way down to like the plate. It was just it was rough.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely rough. All of those, like the Kale speed switches, even the silvers that I had, which I'm looking at it now and it says 70 gram bottom out, but good lord, does it not feel like that?
Hmm.
Um, but they're they were all super wobbly. That was like the time, like those switches were made when Kale was still kind of like having some issues.
Mhm.
And like that's why I think box switches hit so hard, because they didn't have the wobble problems. And then since then, Kale is kind of, they fixed it.
Yeah, they've gone in and tightened up the tolerances, which I appreciate. I still need to try the silk switches.
Mhm.
They have the silk switches in stock right now. At least the pre-lubed ones. But I need to give that a shot. Or I guess, okay, Silk Series, Dry Series, got it. So but I'm very interested to see what we are going to see out of this year. I think, like I said a second ago, I do think that the um with the ability to make a lighter tactile, and maybe the Polia Switch does something like this. I'd love to see novel keys. The Sherbert and Blueberry kind of fell flat, I think. I think the Blueberry was a very aggressive tactile stem. And honestly, so I put 89 gram springs into it, and I really like it. I think it rounded it out perfectly, but not everybody wants to type on 90 gram switches, and I get that. And then the Sherberts were supposed to be kind of like, oh, let's try and bring clickies back, and it just kind of fell flat too. So hopefully it, we start seeing Kale start to pump out some of these switches, and Novel Key's going to work on getting some of these switches out, because 2020, 2019, we were kind of in this rut of just like, cool, we have JWK linears, we have Gateron inks, we have creams, and we have Holy Pandas.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you've got switches like the Kangaroo ink, which is nice.
Yeah.
You got the aforementioned Polia switch. Plus, I'm sure there's more on the horizons, right? One of the
Yeah.
things that I would love to see, you just talked about it. They've got the Silk and Dry series. I would love for the Silk and Dry series to expand into the tactile offerings from JWK. I think that would be awesome, you know?
Mhm.
Because it seems like we're just getting all these brand new linear switches. It'd be really cool to see some new tactiles from them. Obviously, G Willard's talking about Bobas. That's another switch. I feel like there's like a bunch of new tactile switches that have come out in the last few months that we need to just snag up and check them out. Kangaroo inks, the Polias, the Moyu blacks, Bobas, and we just need to try them out.
Yeah, absolutely. The beige potato one, could you theoretically film the bronze switches? No. Well, you could, but it wouldn't do anything, because the actual there's not really a nice way to like recreate this, but like essentially when the stem is like too small for the opening in the housing, and that's not going to get fixed with a film. It's not going to help any of the lateral movements. And if it does, it might help it a little bit, but it might bring it from a borderline unacceptable to extremely subpar. So,
Yep. Also, another Switch that we haven't heard about for coming up on a year in a little bit. The Zeal Switch that is like rotatable.
it's been a hot minute. I was really hyped on that Switch. I don't know.
We talked about it like in length for like 2 weeks on the show.
Yeah.
And we have heard nothing since that video. But who knows? Will it actually happen? I don't know. Zeal's been more active. He did a whole bunch of giveaways and stuff in his Discord over the holidays. So maybe Zeal's coming back around. Maybe he's going to do more stuff. Maybe we get a Zeal V3 this year or a Telio V3. That'd be cool.
So, how come we don't see straight up stems being sold other than Oompa Loompa stems? I don't really know. You know, I'm sure there's a logistical reason as to why, you know, maybe with the machine that makes them, I don't know. My guess is the machine that makes Switches does everything where it's like it's ready to go, in how to get the stem from the machine. You have to put it in a Switch. That would be like my guess is, you know, it just pops in. And so a lot of the big keyboard makers won't do that because I imagine it's probably just more difficult for them to like adjust how they do things for a stem. I mean, people have been asking for this for Halo stems, like please let us save money and buy a bunch of Halo stems. But I don't think we'll see a whole lot of it. I think it's gonna have to, you know, if we do, it's gonna be kind of like the Oompa Loompa stems, where it's just like a little bit. It's like just you know, they'll come in waves, and they'll probably be solid. But at the end of the day, a lot of those stems are only as good as the housing that you put them in. So,
can you show off the squid for
yeah,
our boy Alex Odos again?
Alex Odos this is showing it off again. Mr. Odos snagged one of these up. This could be his. This could be the one. I don't know what color he got. It's written down somewhere in an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm excited. I need to weigh this, but I mean it's heavy. It's like, I think fully built it's over 5 pounds. So if I remember correctly, fully built, this thing's over 5 pounds. So it's
a thick.
I'm excited to get these. It's thick. It's juicy. I think Mr. Odos will be pleased with it. So I've never really been into tactiles. Thought about trying koalas off Amazon. Are those decent? I've heard good things about koala switches. So I think, you know, from what I've heard, they're good tactile switches. But if you're someone who's a diehard linear, it might be aggressive, because I know koalas are a pretty tactile switch. So it's, you know, it's kind of up in the air. If, you know, it's hard to get people who are super into tactiles into linears and vice versa.
Also, I would agree with Gnarly Charlie for you saying get koalas from 3D Keebs instead of Amazon, because when you can support a vendor that's in the hobby, someone that's doing this for the love of the hobby, you should always try to do that. Obviously, Amazon, fantastic place to purchase things, but you know what? Throw some keyboard vendors the money.
Yeah, unfortunately, koalas are sold out on 3D Keebs, but we know 3D Keebs. We can contact them, see when they're going to be expecting them soon, or if they are going to be coming in soon. The other thing that we've seen, we haven't really talked about on the channel much, is Hyperglide MX Blacks. So, you know, Cherry stepping back into the ring, the old heavyweight champion for 30 years, only to be dethroned in the last few years. You know, I've heard good things. I've heard really good things about people really enjoying how smooth they are. I forgot I ordered 500 Hyperglides. That's a lot of switches.
Dude, I need to get some. I've been in love with linears recently. I really do enjoy myself some linears.
Just hold this up the whole stream.
So I need to try out some hyperglides because I've heard good things. You know, it's the newest cherry version. People are excited for them. So yeah, I need to get some in. I would love to see MX blacks or MX switches get better, right? It feels like
Yeah.
for the longest time, cherry has just been like going through the mold of just like, yeah, we've done it for forever. We don't need to change. We know that our switches are kind of scratchy and they kind of sound like poop, but let's just keep going. And now maybe they're trying to do better, trying to make things better and take back some market share from the enthusiast market from the likes of Gatoron and Kale. So and JWK, right? JWK came in last year and it was like you couldn't go a week without hearing about a new JWK switch. So if MX Blacks can come in and just like fucking smash everyone else, it's only
Tear it
gonna
up.
it's only gonna do great things for the rest of the community, because then that means all the other brands are gonna have to be like, well shit, we gotta one up them.
Cannot distinguish them from retools when typing. So there you go. I mean, so to me, what makes a good linear? Well, I don't care about the spring. First things first with the spring, with the linear, throw the spring out. Don't give a shit about it. Like, I'm gonna use my own springs. I am a diehard Novel Keys spring fan. So it's going to be about the housing and the smoothness of the housing and the sound. Sound's usually the biggest part for me. That's why I love Cream so much. I only have 3 linear boards in my collection. I have, and one is alpacas, and at 89 grams. I have this board that's creams at 89 grams, and then I have my TKL at 98 grams creams. So it's, I like the sound. The alpacas, they sound fine, but they're very smooth. I will say alpacas, JWK linears are very, very smooth, and they sound a little bit better to me than Gatoron Inks, which I do think Gatoron Inks, as of right now, from what I have tried, still kind of hold that title of just like the most ridiculously smooth switch I've ever typed on. But I might have to try these hyperglides. If the hyperglides are good, maybe it's time to kick these JWK linears to the curb.
Heyo. Plus, they would probably be a little bit more readily available than the JWKs have been over the past couple months. Although that is getting better, but it's like if you fall in love with one colorway or one specific switch, then it's hard to get. Like the H1s were like the 78 gram bottom out,
Yeah.
but you like can't find that again. Another thing I didn't realize, these hyperglides 80 gram bottom out. That's close
There
for
you
you.
go.
It's close.
That's close. It's good. That would be typable. That would be usable.
You wouldn't walk away in disgust.
I wouldn't type on it and be like, because even Gatoron Black Inks, like Gatoron, like, so the JL1, there's JL1 behind me that I'm shipping back soon. Even stock Gatoron Black Inks, I'm like, oh, it's just a little too light. It's just like just enough. So I think 85 grams is the lowest I've gone for a board, and I wound up selling that board. So, but I really do like the 89 gram. But it's interesting. If I get a Hyperglide board, I actually, it'd be perfect for this.
Yeah,
Be an all black switch, and these are 89 gram creams. I already have a cream build, so I don't really need 2. I had the creams readily available at the time. So yeah,
nice.
I'm shipping back soon. Sounded so pained. Did I say shipping?
Talking about the JO1, you said I'm shipping it back soon.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss it. I used it a good bit, but they're also it's that thing is big.
It's a big ass board, dude.
For what you are typing on, that thing is massive. Like, let me grab.
It's a chunk. I remember being at NorCal last year, 2 years ago now, kind of.
2 calendar years.
2 calendar years ago, and it was larger. It was wider than the Kepler and the same weight as the Kepler, but still technically like a 75% kind of.
Ish. Yeah, it's like a 70%. But sorry, the JL1's really heavy. 60% JL1.
Yeah, dude, it's huge.
This thing takes up a lot of real estate. The JL1, it's a great board once built. It's a pain in the ass to build. It sounds great. It feels great. I understand this is a board that would be great if I was never gaming at my desk, right? If this was a board that I was like, this is a get shit done board. I've got some F key. I've got 8 F keys. I can kind of program those to whatever I want. If I'm at work, it's got a pin rail, which I'm actually genuinely curious how many people throw like a metal pin on their on their JO1s. I would, because I'm like, fuck it, let's do this. But
Dude, mechanical head pins, let's go.
let's go. But it's solid if you're like sitting there like, this is where I get shit done. I don't game at this. I've always talked about with my wife, whenever I'm like, I'd love to get a stream room sometime, and that's the stream room is where I would have all my bigger boards, because I'm not going to be really gaming in stream desk and be working on stuff for like photo editing and stuff for the channel, and 60% are just so great at gaming. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
But other than that, if you guys have any questions, we don't have keyboard of the week this week. We're not going to be doing it in January. We've had, with the break kind of coming to a close of the holidays, my break coming to a close, we just haven't gotten around to talking about exactly the layout of the full year of Keyboard of the Year. Again, congratulations to Keeb Noob, Keyboard of the Year winner with the Wazowski 2319. Keyboard of the week is 90-ish Squid60s.
Fair.
I mean,
fair enough.
I think so. It's the top. It's the talk of the town today, at least in my apartment. When I said, "Hey, babe, can you help me QC these boards? Like, let's go through." She's got a good eye. She's probably got. I mean, I have terrible vision, so. But yeah, if you guys have questions, we've got Langlandia coming on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about SA Recall running right now. We're going to talk about one of the few guys that's done Infinity and GMK of the same set. So it'll be good. Plus, he's a great friend of the channel. So I've missed him the last few times because he usually comes on to replace me.
Yeah, I was about to say the last time he was on was when you were unable to make the stream, and him and I we hung out. We had a good conversation. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear him talk about the differences in running the same set in in GMK to Infinity, and then also his experiences now with SA. And then we just have to convince him to run a cat set, and then we'll get his experiences with running cat. And then we'll have the trifecta or quadfecta. I don't think that's a thing.
Maybe DSA, MT3, DSS.
I think some of those are the same.
I guess DSA and SA would be the same, but yeah. MT3 though, that'd be
MT3. True.
through drop. I know you just got them, but do you have like a rough estimate of the whole QC shipment timeline regarding Squid? I would love to get US orders out by the 15th. That is my goal. For those who do not know, my birthday is Saturday. I'll probably do a little work on them. It just depends on, I would probably be able to wrap up QC, but stream was tonight. Like, can't really. I didn't want to be like, sorry guys, later. So it just depends on how fast. I'd love, whenever we originally talked about this a long time ago, I was, like, oh, we'll get a bunch of people over and we'll kind of all work on this together, and we'll create like an assembly line where Osiris and I would be QCing and passing them off to someone who'd be packaging them and getting the, all the boxes ready. So question: who cuts place in the U.S.? I have no idea.
I think the only one is
Laser
Laser
is in,
Boost, but he's not.
they're
He's
in
EU.
they're in Spain, I think, if I remember. Laser Boost is the one that I do.
Send cut
Send. Well, there it is. I learned something tonight. Send cut send. So I know that there's a couple different people that have talked about cutting like FR4 plates for the squid and the baka. I have to reach out and contact him about allowing him to kind of make some. But no, I was kind of excited to do that kind of big like shipping party day, and just so I could show up to like UPS and be like, I'm here to fuck up your entire day.
I'm here to ruin your week. Let's go. I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be that guy.
I'm the guy that
you go home and you complain about.
Yeah, I'm the asshole that orders 40 frappuccinos from Starbucks in the drive-through.
Dude, God.
Scott Water, that's who it was. I'm done.
Mhm.
FR4. So, but yeah, Exquisite Man, what's up, D? Just kind of coming to a close. Like I said, we usually do keyboard of the week. That will be coming back in February. We got some really cool stuff planned for this year. So we can talk about this because now that it's not technically happening, we're very close to living in a house together again.
Yes, very close. But I think decided for the better of both of us, just to kind of wait it out.
Moving's expensive.
It's expensive, and then it's like we're enjoying what we're doing right now. Why risk it, and like why try to make it more like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. We're both in good places. We're both happy. So why not?
I feel like it would. I feel like it would force us to be more like, let's do even more and let's turn this into a bit. And it would turn the relationship too much into a business relationship. Where now when we get to hang out, it's like, cool, let's talk about other things. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about shoes. Let's talk about...
And then we don't have to have like the awkward conversation of like, whose washer and dryer do we keep?
Yeah.
Whose couch do we use? Whose TV goes where? Like,
yeah, it's just awkward. So, and then, again, moving's expensive. We're trying to look at all the YouTube houses that fail. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would have been fun, but I think it would have eventually stressed me out a good bit of like feeling like there was a lot. It's like doing a lot because I knew I would want to do more, and that like it's self-imposed stress. I mean, like I've got to do so much more shit that I'm volunteered to do.
Yeah. Well, and like, I guess the one difference between like all the YouTube houses that fail and all the other content houses that don't go well is we have lived together for a significant period of time before.
We lived together for a year and a half.
We didn't want to like rip each other's heads out.
We're still friends. Out. Yeah. We moved to the same apartment complex.
Yeah.
Right after we moved out because they were selling the house, and my wife and I were about to get married. And so we were kind of like, all right, it's about time that, we had our separate ways. It was not a like, I fucking hate you and I have to move out now. It was like, they're selling the house and we're about to go get married, and it's probably just better to do this. And I know you wanted your own space too. So
yeah, I mean, you had lived on your own before prior to us living together. I hadn't. I lived with my brother for a year. I lived with some bandmates before that. So it was cool. It was a good time to do that. It's not like we wouldn't have been friends if we did it, or we're still friends. So, yeah.
The best thing you can do for a friendship is stop. It's funny. We hung out less after moving out but we also had like a really big friend group. There was like 8 of us. That was like constant. But when you're in your early to mid 20s and you have all that more energy and all that shit, and then there was just it's harder to get. A couple different people moved away. A couple other people did some things that I don't want to talk about too much.
We also shifted from like, if you think about it, I was actually thinking about this today. when we moved into the house, you and I were like, you were working
I was working at PetSmart.
PetSmart, and I was working at Guitar Center still. Like we were
Yeah.
doing like just regular jobs. Whereas by the time we moved out, we were both working like the equivalent of like a 9 to 5, and especially now we're both working like career jobs.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's way different, you know. I was working way too much when I was at the hotel. Granted, I'm not working anywhere near as many hours now as I was then. But yeah, we just didn't have as much time to hang out because my thing was I'd come home and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to bed, or I'm gonna play Overwatch for like 2 hours
Walk
and then
in
go to
and
bed.
nothing. How old are you guys? I'm turning 29 on Saturday. And Osiris turns 29 8 months to the day after that.
Exactly 8 months. So
about to be officially in the latest of late 20s.
dude, we're gonna be 30 soon. That's weird.
Yeah. And what? I got 369 days. 369. What's up?
When did we? How old were we when we met?
I was 21.
That's right. I was 20. That's right.
was
Because I was
21
still.
because I celebrated your. I was one of.
Yeah.
I celebrated on your 21st birthday
Yeah.
because I was already like toasted by the time you guys picked me up, because it was the first. Because that day
The
always
first Sunday of
falls along the
NFL.
first Sunday of NFL, and so fantasy, all that stuff. So we had just been drinking all day, and then you and our other friend we're like, hey, we're gonna come pick you up. I'm not driving, so let's do it. And we went to some bar, and I remember, yeah, that was cool. And it's
Jaeger
weird to think about.
bombs.
I turned 29, and I
Dude.
celebrated your 21st birthday. That's weird.
We've been friends for a while now. We're like old friends at this point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're one of my oldest friends at this point.
True.
Although Colt, I've known Colt fucking 10 years now. Like this January, our good friend Colt, he doesn't really show up in the stream that much, but he's on the Discords a bunch. I've known him for 10 years now. That's weird to think about. No, yeah, I mean, I know that 29 is young for a lot of folk, but it's weird looking back and going like, man, it's been the years start coming and they don't stop coming.
Dude, it's like I equate like feeling old to like football, right? And so
Oh God,
getting to the point where you realize that like the people that are playing in college are like younger than you was weird. And then now I'm at the point where like not only are there pro NFL football players that are younger than me, there are NFL football players that are retiring younger than me. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
damn.
I'm sitting there like Devontae Adams. He's just broke all these Green Bay records. I'm like, I'm a year older than Devontae Adams.
Bruh, I'm 50.
50. I mean, hey, more power to you, man. Did I really just quote Smash Mouth? I absolutely did.
Why not?
Because the years start coming and they don't stop coming. That song is great. Fight me. So quick shout after that threat. Quick shout out to our awesome sponsors. We got Dixie Mechs, soon to be Omni Type. We will be covering that in greater detail soon. But you can head on over, or I guess I don't know if the site is looks like it is Omnitype. Yeah, it's down right now. Omnitype, they'll be back soon. We'll hear more from them very soon. Project Keyboard, you can go to mexondeck.project.link. I believe Stealth is still going or is about to wrap up.
Yeah, the 16th is when
the 16th. So yeah, so we still got a couple, just about 11 days left on GMK Stealth. It's a great looking set. If you kind of like that, very dark aesthetic to it, it's a fantastic looking set. So be sure to check that out there, as well as I know he's going to start shipping out Ashes soon, which means the extras will be going up relatively soon. So we'll keep you updated on that. Keep your head to the ground. And then Cannon Keys, Cat Crusader, GMK. Is it Sean Shui?
I think
I need
so.
to Sean Shui. I'm bad at names.
But the
And
desk
then
mats are fucking insane. They
the
look so
desk
good.
mats are crazy good. They still got bunny mats as well. The Crusader desk mat, the Shenshui desk mat, Geek Arc PBT Lancelot. Very lots of stuff from Candy Keys, just pumping out heat. Did they sell out of extra pre-orders? I don't believe if they did, they still will have a couple extras at the end. But let's see. It's not even fair having Shanshui and Polybius desk mats running this month. Yeah, they're both fantastic. But yeah, go check out Canon Keys. And then our other awesome partners, Zap Cables, make some of the best cables in the business. Typebeast, typebea.st. Great newsletter. Go check them out in Smith Rune. Iron 180s in production. Going to be a great board. Iron 165s. They could come back sometime. In the meantime, cuddle up. It's about to get real fucking cold. Grab yourself some sweatpants.
I feel like the people who don't actually go to the website think that all they sell is keyboards and sweatpants. Because that's all we ever talk about is the sweatpants. They do have t-shirts,
hats,
beanies,
and shorts. I think they even have some shorts on there. So yeah. But other than that, guys, thank you for all the support with the Squid60. Like I said, I will be working hard on them to get everything done with more updates. If you got a coffee cup, there you go. Smith and Rune coffee cup. I'll be working hard to get those done. I'll be updating in the Discord. I'll update some on the streams, but if you want actual, official updates, they'll be happening on stream, or on the Discord. I can't talk. I guess the last 10 minutes of this, I'm just like, nope, you're done. Checked out. That'll be happening on the Discord. So,
Hooligan, to answer your question about what I think about the Boop 65, because Chewy's answer is going to be that it's a 65% and he doesn't care. I think the fact that Beep named it the Boop is the best part of the board. Now, other than that, I think it's pretty cool looking. Not crazy expensive, pretty inexpensive board. I like the sides. I think that the rounded side profiles look great. And I like all the different coloring options that they offered. So yeah, haven't had a chance to mess around with one. Didn't get like a proto or anything. But I would imagine if Beep is putting his name on it, it's going to be good. He's a good dude. He does great stuff. The Beep Boop 65. It's just
Beep
fun
Boop
to say.
65. It's great. Beep Boop. So, but yeah, like I said, tomorrow Langlandia will be on 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. We're going to talk about lots of cool stuff happening there, and just a good friend to hang out with. And then Saturday, 2 p.m., I will be building the bumper 60, I think, but I think it's just called the bumper from Zap. Nice 60% tray mount board. Excited to build. So be sure to stay tuned for all that stuff. I like the rounded sides of the Boop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The sides look great.
It's neat. It's unique New York. So who are we rating? Yo's live, who, man,
I think
Disco Crocodile.
I was about to say, I'm literally on his channel of like, he hasn't been live in forever. So I think we should raid Mr. Disco Crocodile.
Hell yeah, dude. But thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. We got a really nice message from someone today that was like, hey, just really appreciate your stuff. I'm glad that we're able to give you good content.
Absolutely.
Buy a Switch tester.
Bye now.